Man, guys, I wonder how WWE is gonna top CM Punk on Rampage.
I don't know. What's Lesnar doing?
You mean aside from Sable?
And welcome to TFSPOD, otherwise known as the Few Show Podcast. It's 24/7 Lou, and that's
Hard saying, gosh, what a shocker this past Saturday was.
And that's
The one-man band. Yeah, shockers. Some not that great.
yes, folks. Here we are. We're back. We're doing our post SummerSlam predictions show, and yeah, it was an exciting event. We had 8 participants in that one, and an extra one in there that we'll mention him. We'll mention him because he did participate with us as we were doing that in our chat. And yeah, SummerSlam is behind us. Summer of Cena is over. And of course, I forgot to say the most famous thing. This is number one show in the world, number one show in your heart, number one show in the world. And of course, in your girlfriend's heart. So yes, take that, EGOB. We are the crew that is before and after shows.
Stop.
I know you're listening, Bogey. So yes. Yeah, we're going to talk about SummerSlam. And before we get to that, Ricard. No, wait. Before we get to that, let me say it the right way. The one-man band, give us the line that everyone loves.
Ricard, just get the damn scoreboard.
Oh
man, what?
Yeah, I know. So the scoreboard after SummerSlam, because we won't take into account NXT TakeOver yet. The scoreboard after SummerSlam was Lou at 9 points. One Man Band, you're at 7. Myself, I'm still at 5. J Few is at 3 points. The Randomizer is at 2. Big Al is at 1, and he's currently joined by newcomer and beginner's luck winner Ismael at 1 point with SummerSlam in the back. And then everyone else is at 0, which means Rhino and Bogey still at 0.
Ooh. So, yeah.
And that, my friends, unambiguously, unlike Doc Ock and Green Goblin appearing in that No Way Home trailer, is the scoreboard.
Yep. There you go. That's the scoreboard. Yeah, we had 8 participants I was mentioning before. We had we were calling the guys in the ring, but yeah, it was J Few, it was Big Al, it was Bogey, and Ismail, who is part of the Few family. And yeah, he participated. He had a very hot hand throughout the night. And let's just dive right into it. What was the first match that we had?
First match that we had, we opened up basically with RK Bro versus AJ Styles and Omos. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, we didn't see the spot I thought we'd see, but RK Bro with the win. Most people predicted RK Bro to get the win. I believe the only 2 who didn't were...
Yeah, with Big Al and me.
You and Big Al, yes.
Yep,
there we go.
Yep.
I knew it was 2 people.
Oh.
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it was going to happen, but yeah, there it is. We had a title change, our first title change of the night.
Yeah, and that would be a very consistent for the first half of the show, I think. Theme, for sure. I had predicted it would be the only title change of the night. Boy, was I wrong. Well, actually, no. Damn, I'm showing myself short here. I also predicted the U.S. title to change hands, but no, I was wrong. Way wrong. But let's focus on the early parts of the night because I was right on about a lot of matches. A lot of us were.
All right,
when things started turning. The next match was Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. Let's not dwell too much on this one because the only person that got this wrong was the randomizer. So,
exactly.
But yeah, Alexa Bliss with the win over Eva Marie and Doudrop basically deciding she's done with Eva Marie also. So the match did what it needed to do. I'm sure someone's going to get released later on.
Early bathroom break.
Bathroom breaks. That takes me back.
Sorry, Mary.
But yeah, Everybody basically got a point except for the randomizer.
Okay.
All right. Next match was Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal, with Jinder Mahal's lackeys banned from ringside.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, the only person to really go against the grain on this one was the randomizer, who picked Jinder Mahal. Everybody else had Drew McIntyre, and Drew won. Pretty straightforward match. It looks like they're moving on from that rivalry too.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Was that to give him a match for SummerSlam?
Yeah, I think Drew McIntyre just wants to have rivalries with his pals, because it looks like he's moving on to a feud with Sheamus again.
Good, because I don't want to see Heath Slater.
Hey! You take that back about the one-man band.
The original?
The original, exactly.
The original one, yeah. The original guy.
But yeah, pretty straightforward match. Drew McIntyre won. We got a nice little spot afterwards, because I remember asking this when the entrance happened, of why Drew McIntyre wasn't planting the sword anywhere. But he pulled out the sword at the end of the match when the guys they were coming after him.
You mean Angela?
What? Angela? We have
Angela, yeah.
The sword has a name?
The sword's name is Angela, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
How did I miss this? I didn't know that.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, then. Nice. So, yeah, Drew McIntyre and Angela fighting off Jinder Mahal's lackeys, and that's the wrap for that feud, it looks like. Moving on was next match, Sheamus versus Damien Priest.
Oh, yeah.
In one that had kind of the same split of 7-1, with Bogey being the odd one out on this one. He went Sheamus, everybody else went Priest.
Mm-hmm.
But sure enough, Damien Priest got the win.
Hey, that was a good match. That was a good match. It was kind of close. There was a spot where Damien Priest, like, he flew out the ring and he landed on his back really bad. I don't know how he moved on from that one.
It had a lot of near falls. It was a good match. Yeah.
I'm happy Damien Priest got his comeuppance. Like, I guess they finally realized, like, hey man, he's been pulling for us since WrestleMania. You know, he was willing to bring in somebody, a celeb, to help out and all that, and he was willing to put his stuff to the side for a few months. They finally, I guess they decided to reward him. Said, hey, here's the U.S. Championship. You know.
Yeah, dude. It's like I said, dude. It's at what was it?
That was a good push.
At WrestleMania, he was the sideshow to Bad Bunny. Mm-hmm. At WrestleMania Backlash, he was the sideshow to zombies.
Yeah. Oh God.
And finally, they decided, all right, you know what? Let's give this guy his props and give him his moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm also happy Bogey didn't get the point.
Yeah.
Because he did really well. He did really well on most of the other ones. So.
Yeah.
There's that. All right.
So congrats, Damien Priest.
Yeah, congrats, Damien Priest. Everybody was rooting for you except for one person. All right. Next match was, and this is where we start getting into. We're not going to go in the order that we had it there because it didn't go in that order precisely. But the next match was actually. Oh no, it was actually Seth Rollins versus Edge was the following match for that, and if I'm not mistaken, we had a pretty sizable split on this one.
Yeah, man. There was a kids table versus
the kids table versus the regulars and the randomizer, which was always a bad sign. But yeah, we all picked Seth Rollins. I'm trying to revise history there. We all picked Seth Rollins. The randomizer picked Seth Rollins, and the four people already in the ring picked Edge.
I don't get that. I don't get why that was done. Like, I don't get it. It's like you're bearing Seth for it, or you're giving Edge shine, but he's not a full-time guy. What is that?
That's what I don't. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand why they decided to go with Edge, especially like after you're building Rollins up. Mm-hmm. You know, again, I just don't get it. I don't get why they gave the rub to Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Where Edge doesn't need victories, man. He really doesn't. Like, he has nothing more to he has nothing more to prove. Nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
I thought Rollins was going to win because he made good points on the video package that they did, where it was everything Edge did. He might have done it first, but I did it better.
Mm.
The Money in the Bank cash-in, his was more memorable. The what else was it? Winning the Rumble. I actually won my WrestleMania match, which was, oh my gosh. Oh, talk about, it's like they were listening to one of my podcasts, and Rollins was like, yeah, I should bring all this up. Debuting in a faction of 3 people. We did it better. I was like, what the heck? Oh my gosh. He just kept nailing every single part of it. Just, yeah, that's just right, Edge.
Nailing one after the other.
And I was just like, he's making good points. Just let Rollins win. I honestly thought anybody could have won that match, really, as long as you would have had the nice handshake at the end or something like that. It's all about the follow-up here. If Edge just disappears now, it's like, wow. But I guess Edge now has a claim to say, yeah, I should get a title match because I resolved my issue with Rollins, and there's nothing else to prove, but I still haven't had my fair one-on-one shot with you without outside interference.
True.
And good judging by the fact that I think Night of Champions is the next show coming up. Mm-hmm. We probably will have an Edge versus Reigns rematch because I can't see. Oh wait, no. Lesnar came back.
Ooh.
Spoiler.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm jumping the gun here.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I don't know what Edge is gonna do now.
See what I mean? What was the point of that?
Yeah, the momentum. I guess we'll see, but it feels like the momentum's been lost. But we'll see what Rollins does. But yeah, no, I thought it was still a good match, though. Mm-hmm. Great match. It's a shame. It's a shame. Well, I guess it's not a shame. They were hyping it up like if Rollins, the entire time in the match, they were saying if Rollins hits the stomp, Edge might as well be paralyzed. I was like, oh, jeez. That's going to be underwhelming if he finally hits it. Mm-hmm. And then he did it, and I said, all right, now it makes sense why they were saying that. Yeah. But, I don't know where Seth Rollins goes from here, and I'm not sure if Edge has an immediate in back into anything. Worst comes to worst, I think they might do a rematch. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Which would be, I don't know, I think it'll be a shame, but maybe Rollins will actually paralyze him this time.
Oh man, damn!
In storyline.
Okay.
He hits the stomp, and it's like, oh my gosh, Edge can't move.
Get a wheelchair.
Put him on the stretcher.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah. That match happened, and all the wrong people got a point. Moving on to another match where a lot of people got points because of some really, really lucky stuff here.
Man.
Here we go. Bianca Belair versus what should have been Sasha Banks.
Right.
All right, where do we start? So, before we go into the match, here at TFSPOD, we have a rule with predictions. It says, if there's a substitution for a participant in a match after predictions have been submitted, the substitution will take the place of the pick for anybody that picked the competitor that they're substituting. Mm-hmm. Which means, when the match happened, it was supposed to be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. Whoever picks Bianca Belair got a point if Bianca Belair won. Whoever picked Sasha Banks, if Sasha Banks would have won, would have got a point. Mm-hmm. Sasha Banks was not in the match due to speculation that she got the virus, so she had to be pulled last minute. Mm-hmm. All we know for sure is she didn't show up at SmackDown the previous night, and she wasn't there at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, with that said, the original teased substitution was going to be Carmella gets a shot at Bianca Belair, 1v1. And that would have meant that if Carmella won against Bianca Belair, Well, whoever picks Sasha Banks gets a point. Oh well. But everybody who picked Bianca Belair, myself included, Lou, and I believe One Man Band, we're all thinking when Carmella came out, we were like, oh my gosh, what an easy point.
There was only 2 people who picked Sasha Banks.
Only 2 people picked Sasha Banks. It was Bogey, of course, and Ismael, the newcomer. So, boy, were we all with eggs in our face, because what would happen? You had, whoa, hit in the arena audio, and everybody goes berserk. So Becky Lynch comes out. And we're all thinking, oh, and for a moment, Lou was telling me, he's like, oh man, what do we do if it's a triple threat? We don't really have a rule in place for that. And I looked at that and I said, oh gosh, oh no. I said, I don't think it's going to be a triple threat. And sure enough, Becky Lynch beats up Carmella, throws her out of the ring, goes out to the ringside, because I was thinking, oh, wait a minute, maybe Carmella's going to interfere during the singles match and cause a DQ somewhere, which would mean, Becky Lynch wins but doesn't get the title. Nope. Carmella gets knocked out completely by Becky Lynch on the outside. Becky Lynch comes back in, singles match, manhandle slam, and like roughly the same amount of time that it took for Kofi Kingston to lose his title.
That upset me.
You had Bianca Belair lose her title.
Yeah, I was... And not even because of the fact that I chose Bianca Belair. I was more upset at the fact that you and we'll talk about this later, but you have destroyed a woman that had such a strong showing at Royal Rumble, a strong showing at WrestleMania, was strong throughout. And now all of a sudden you just completely squash this woman in less than 20 seconds because that wasn't right. And that was not the right call. In fact, you guys could probably hear the audible boos of the crowd when she won the title. And she was hoisting.
Oh no, of course. Yeah. People didn't like. That's not a way to book a champion. Someone who you've been pushing so strong. That's not a way. A competitive match. You could have done a competitive match. I didn't understand it. Now, my best argument here for WWE, and if anybody from WWE is listening, I want you to listen to this story because, all right, I had a buddy of mine, a coworker. He hadn't watched wrestling in years. He came to watch SummerSlam. And he stood for most of the show. When that match happened, he was like, "Oh man, like who's this?" He didn't know who Becky Lynch was, but he was like, "Wow, the crowd really likes her. This is," and we were all like really excited. We were like, "Oh man, this might be a good match. That match ended in under 10 seconds, and my friend goes, "All right, that's it. I'm going home." And he left after that match, and that is a true story. That is a true story. My friend said, "Come on, dude, that was BS. I'm going home."
Wow. So he was mad.
He wasn't mad. He was just like he was just flabbergasted. He was like, "Dude, I'd be pissed if I was in that audience. Like, are you kidding me?" All those cheers, all that stuff for 10 seconds. It's like, why on earth do you people sit through this? We're just being made fun of. And I was like, damn, he's making good points. He's saying that from someone who used to be a fan, who stopped watching, and wanted to give it a chance. And he was like, nah. That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Now, I want to add one thing in this. To that question we had at the beginning of the show, like, how do you top something with CM Punk showing up at AEW? Well, you bring someone back, right? You bring someone back also. They brought her back, but the way they did it, it was like, come on.
They killed it.
I saw a comment somewhere that said it's like Vince saw Rampage and saw the reaction and said, "Oh, I could do that, but worse."
Yeah.
I think he genuinely sits there and like, how can I disappoint my fans today? Oh, okay, I got you. Let me go ahead and give them what they think they want, and then it's really what I want. And then just makes it worse for everybody. Like, oh man, you were right there. You did the opposite of what we thought you were going to do.
And even and look, all I thought was strange was because this was, and I was saying, oh, maybe it's a last minute change. That's why they didn't do that much of the match and all that stuff. Oh, let's stall for time, this and that. They were stalling for time. But if you recall, the very next segment after that match was they had two Olympic medalists come out from the ramp, get in the ring, wave to the crowd, oh, take pictures, and that was the end of the segment. And even my friend was like, what was the point of that segment? What? Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was funny. I'm like, we could have dedicated that to the Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair match. Maybe
they wanted
another 3 minutes.
They wanted that sweet Olympic revenue.
No, yeah. Although there is speculation that guy might go to WWE. One of the medalists, he might go to WWE.
Does it be the next Kurt Angle?
Yeah, funny enough, they all said that he won the gold medal in pretty much the same.
Oh wow!
In the same category that Angle did.
Did he win it with a broken freaking neck?
No, he didn't. He didn't. No.
Okay. Well.
That would have been too perfect.
That would have been. It's like, okay, look, man, if you're not Kurt Angle, then go with it.
He's Kurt Angle's real black son. Take that, Jason Jordan.
I was gonna say, I thought it was Jason Jordan. What happened, man? Dad, you can't do this to me.
Oh my God.
Just go be a producer, son.
You suck.
Unironically. I'm saying that to you unironically.
It's like you tried to be so much like me, you broke your neck too.
Oh
gosh.
God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Oh man. But yeah, that was One Man Band was the one that really, because that point would have made the difference for him. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it would have made the difference. He would have gotten the point for the overall show. But no.
The robot won. I mean, Ishmael won.
The truth comes out. We're on to you, Lou.
I have to.
I'm
going to say this.
Ever since you added, no. I'm going to say it right now, buddy. What happened last Saturday was essentially me and One Man Band were in the ring. You know, we took care of J Few. We took care of Bogey. You know, I super kicked J Few. One Man Band clothesline Bogey over the top rope, and Bogey spent the rest of the time at ringside talking smack in the chat. Then we both teamed up on the randomizer, double choke slam. He's out of the ring. You know, Lou, you put up a good fight, but we started double teaming you. We're both stomping at you in the corner. One Man Band's gearing up to hit you with a stunner. I got the people's elbow ready. Out of nowhere, we both hit our finishers. We're busy arguing with each other over who's gonna get the pin, and then Ismail might as well have just rolled into the ring when we weren't paying attention and covered you, and ran off with the title. That's what happened. we came in with a game plan. We were on point, no problem. Boom.
Jeez, man.
So yeah, like I said, Ishmael was not a robot that I planted to defeat the One Man Band. Same as last year, the One Man Band was not a robot that I planted to defeat Rick Hard. I will say this, ladies and gentlemen, of the jury, of the press, or whatever, these people are not robots that I've created to keep my victories from going on.
And it only gets worse with NXT the following night, but we'll get to that.
Okay, so what was the next match?
All right, so next match, even though this wasn't chronological, because we did have two matches that occurred before this, I just realized. Mm-hmm. You had the Mysterios versus the Usos.
Okay.
And the Mysterios did not get the win on that one. Hard-fought match that ultimately saw the Usos get the win. I believe they pinned Mysterio himself, Ray?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
With the splash.
Slizax.
So the only person that lost a point on that one was... Oh, wait, no.
Two, randomized.
Was there? Randomizer and Big Al, who I think got the worst score of the night.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Mhm.
Surprised.
Yeah. No wonder he only predicts one show a year.
Whoa! Keep that strategy, Big Al. Keep that strategy. See you next year.
So yeah. So that happened, and then another match that came. Oh, where am I going with this? Okay, no. All right. So then, and another match that came before that was Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Ash.
Who the hell would pick Nikki?
Hey!
Oh.
All right. So, and if you guys pay attention, I was right. It's going to be Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte. That feud does not seem as convincing as Nikki Ash versus Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah.
There's more history there. There's more history there.
I get where you're coming from, but I respectfully don't think so. Because
yeah, because you picked Charlotte.
well, not only that, I picked Charlotte because I just knew I knew the writing was on the wall, and then on top of that, I had a feeling Becky Lynch was coming back, but I didn't think she was coming back.
Well, SmackDown, right?
That on the SmackDown side, I thought she was supposed to go to Raw, so I thought it was going to be Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, and then seeing.
You could save that for Survivor Series.
Yeah, so that was the case. So then that was the problem. That when that went down, I was like, oh great, here we go. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Charlotte wins. Like Wrestle Talk said, her 360th title. Yeah.
Don't remind me.
And then I knew that everybody was doomed when she came out last. When she came out last and had the mini pyro, I said, oh yeah, that's it. She's won.
Oh, yeah.
So, Rickard, at what point did you think that Nikki was going to win? During that
I kept thinking she was going to win in the early and middle parts of the match where Nikki wasn't involved in most of the fighting. She kept getting thrown out. All that stuff. I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah, keep her out of the ring. I kept saying every time Nikki would get in the back in the match when it was clearly not time for the finisher or the finish, I was like, no, stay out. What are you doing? I'm like shouting. I'm not shouting at the TV. What are you doing? No. They go for the double. They go for the double suplex. Suplex.
You pull up the movie Ready to Rumble. What are you doing, freak?
Oh my gosh.
Right,
they go for the double suplex on Charlotte. Charlotte reverses into a double DDT, and I said, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I said, roll out of the ring. Mm-hmm. I remember, Lou, you were there. I got a call during that match, and I specifically told the person that called me, I forgot who it was. I told them, I have to focus or my competitor or the champion will lose.
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, you're totally going to make the outcome change by paying attention to the match. Yeah. I was like, if I shout at the screen hard enough.
You have to focus on a match that was predetermined.
It was predetermined.
You predicted maybe I can, 3 days ago.
Maybe I can affect the outcome if I focus really hard.
Gotta do what you gotta do, bro. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Next match.
So yeah, Charlotte Flair won. Next match after that was Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg.
Bobby Lashley.
And someone could take over on this one. What happened in this match?
My feed went bad during this time, so I didn't get a chance to see it. But
I think your feed was doing you a favor secretly.
It might have been.
It's like you don't need to see this. You know what's going to happen.
It's like, listen, you're a fan. You're not going to enjoy this.
Lashley was dominating this match. And for some reason, MVP.
Oh, I can tell you why.
Hit him in
I can tell you why. And Goldberg delayed selling it.
Yeah, that was funny.
He stepped forward for a moment, and then he realized, oh, wait a minute, he hit me. And he kind of like jolted just a bit, and then he turned around and realized, no, I can't. It's too late to sell it. And he just told MVP. He was like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Nah, Bill, that was bad selling."
man.
And then
Goldberg.
Lashley just kept targeting the leg, and then it was the first match.
Yeah.
It was the first match to end from Goldberg, from my understanding, by technical.
By technical knockout.
I guess technical, or just the match was thrown out, and Bobby Lashley was declared the winner by technical forfeit. I guess technical knockout. It wasn't a technical knockout. It was just forfeit, basically.
Yeah, to me, these Goldberg matches, it's like really, like he's
not
that good.
They're losing their novelty. Let's be real. He was never great in the ring when it came to a technical match.
That's William Regal.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, exactly. Just as William Regal, WCW Nitro. But the thing is like that's never been his bag. His bag has always been, spear, jackhammer, boom, 1, 2, 3. It's or excuse me, the sidekick, like doing the sidekick and doing all these little flurries, and then that's that. That's always been his gig, and he's never he was never that big of a deal, at least on that sense. So that's why, like, when Michael Cole said, "Oh, the greatest WCW champion in history," like, come on. Yeah.
Oh, how much of that is just taking a shot at Hogan?
Well, not only Hogan, Sting.
Oh yeah.
Like people. Like,
we know why he's taking it. We know why he's taking a shot at Sting. He's like, yeah, you're an AEW.
This was in 2016, but I'm saying,
forget that.
But still, it's.
Yeah, to me, the only thing good about it is the music when it hits, it gets everybody excited.
Yeah.
The crowd gets into it.
Not even
that's the thing. The crowd gets into
it. On the promo, whatever promo he's against, that doesn't get me
excited.
The thing is, knocking on the door,
his novelty's wearing off.
Yeah.
His novelty's wearing off. He's running. He's not. The thing is that he's not Brock Lesnar. He's not. Brock Lesnar. He's a monster, but he knows how to work. And he's a lot safer than Goldberg is. Yeah. So you got to remember, Goldberg wasn't a trained wrestler. He started out in NFL. So that this was never like he transitioned into wrestling into his 30s. So Brock Lesnar was an NCAA champion. He was bred for this. So Goldberg's novelty is wearing off, and people are starting to realize, like, man, we're kind of tired of him, and that's why, like, they're turning on him.
I think there's still casuals that are willing to like him, but most I don't think anybody in the major camp has not already turned on him. Anybody who's been paying attention long enough is probably like, yeah, we're tired of seeing Goldberg. We're tired of seeing Oldberg. But unfortunately, and I have to point this out. Unfortunately, I have a sneaking suspicion, because yes, WWE is bringing back Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
I have a sneaking suspicion that if I'm not mistaken, the pay-per-view that saw Goldberg win the title off the Fiends, we might see the same thing again with Goldberg taking the title off of Lashley, because the finish to the match that they had at SummerSlam was Goldberg's match is declared in favor of Bobby Lashley to be a forfeit because of injury, and then Goldberg's son comes out and he gets put in the Hurt Lock. So
that's right.
I don't know about that, because they're pushing a new thing on Raw the following night. They put something else, but let's see.
No, look at who had a match for Bobby Lashley. It was Damien Priest and Drew McIntyre, and we all know Drew McIntyre cannot challenge for the title again, unless WWE decides to drop that rule, like the wild card rule. But when I saw Drew McIntyre come out, I'm like, oh yeah, neither one of these two guys can actually feud with him. So we'll see.
All right, next match. Last match of the night.
The last match of the night was Tribal Chief Roman Reigns versus John Cena. And Roman Reigns, to his credit, which I guess was just a further insult to John Cena. He had the Usos not get involved in this match.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing a nice little transition between Reigns, and I kind of reminds me of Seth Rollins and J&J Security during his title reign.
Oh my God!
Slowly but surely, we're transitioning away from him having his lackeys help him win to Reigns winning on his own merits and looking like a credible opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So Reigns basically won in pretty much dominant fashion.
Yeah.
And yeah, John Cena got destroyed throughout the match. He had a nice little flurry at the end. And then Reigns won. He was about to celebrate his victory. And then he got interrupted by none other than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And his new haircut.
Well,
Brock,
we say new haircut, but he grew it out. So.
He grew it out. Yeah. He didn't cut his hair. He just styled it. But
he went to the way of the samurai.
So we yes, as you pointed out, yes, samurai cut with the ponytail. So yeah, Brock Lesnar came out. He looked at Reigns. Reigns backed off. Paul Heyman looked conflicted. I saw the best meme about it. It was basically the Twilight cover with Paul Heyman being Bella.
I did see that. That was great.
And it looks like we've got Reigns set up for a match with Lesnar at the probably soon.
The fight
we'll see
for
how that
Paul
turns
Heyman.
It should be interesting to see who Paul Heyman sides with.
Be like, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am the advocate for. And then right there, he just pauses.
It'll be interesting.
Well, no. What'll be interesting is who's going to talk for Lesnar when he comes out on Friday night.
Well, here's the thing.
He cannot get on the mic.
Lesnar can't get on the mic. He can't scream properly in a manly way. I don't know how he's going to talk.
Lesnar can talk. It's just
he can, but
it's not a strong point. He's like Bobby Lashley. Like Bobby Lashley is not Bobby Lashley is not his. It's not a strong point. Like they're dominant. What they are is they let their in-ring work do the talking. But Rock can talk. It's just they haven't allowed him to because they want him to be this dominant force. So that's what I'm wondering.
Because he will never say the words that Paul Heyman says.
Well, no, I agree with that.
Brock. If I had to interject and I had to stay when Brock was at his peak in terms of being on the mic. It was, if you guys remember when he was feuding with Kurt Angle in 2003.
Yes.
And 2004, 2003 and 2003 basically, where they were doing like friendly competition vibes after WrestleMania. He kept doing like, oh yeah, I bet I could do more push-ups than you. I bet I could do more push-ups than you, and all that kind of stuff. When he has someone good to bounce off of, I think he could make it work. But his strength is definitely not the mic. Now, giving him a different manager? No, I don't see that. Just who knows? Maybe just have.
It has to be.
Maybe just have Heyman be the. I mean, Heyman doesn't actually interfere in either one of their matches at this point. Just have Heyman do the announcing for both of them. Who knows? Heyman's a master craftsman when it comes to the mic. Maybe he could find a way to
and then how about
sophistry his way to talking for both of them.
Then how about this? I doubt it. If you were to predict who would be his spokesman, who would it be on that roster?
Reigns.
No.
Heyman would be the spokesman.
No. I mean Brock Lesnar. Who would be spokesman? Who would be the spokesman for Brock Lesnar on Friday when he comes out? In that roster, who would you say here? You got this assignment, or someone old?
I'll let One Man Band go first.
Oh Lord. That's a tough one because besides Paul Heyman, like really, who else would make sense? Unless you brought Kurt Angle back and made him the mouthpiece for him, since they had such a great chemistry together. Bring him back and have him be the mouthpiece.
Yeah,
but I just don't see it.
Here's my pick. If I had to go with anything, and it's because he pretty much has nothing else to do right now. Shane McMahon.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I like it.
You know, he could feasibly be like, yeah, resign them, because you know, at any given point, the McMahons could chime in and be like, yeah, I still kind of own part of this company, so I signed him to a contract. I had him come back, and yeah, he's here to beat you up, Reigns. Because interestingly enough, Reigns only has one victory over Brock Lesnar in a one-on-one match. And if I'm not mistaken, they've only wrestled 4 times.
4, really? It felt like more.
No, 4. It's WrestleMania 31, which ended with Rollins cashing in. You had WrestleMania 34, if I'm not mistaken. WrestleMania 34, the one in 2018, yes, 34.
Really?
34, yes. I believe it was 30. I believe it was 34.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with it. 34. WrestleMania 34. Reigns versus Lesnar. Reigns takes 5 F5s and loses.
Yeah.
Cleanly. That's as clean as it could get. Then there's steel cage rematch that everybody likes to remove from their mentality, where he speared Lesnar through the cage wall, and Lesnar won by escaping first on a technicality, you know, because we got to protect Reigns. And then their last rematch, which was SummerSlam of 2018, where Reigns got the win because Braun Strowman was on the outside. That is the only clean victory Reigns has over Lesnar. So, in case you're keeping count, Brock 2, Reigns 1, no contest to the 4th one, which is the very first one.
All right. Well, I don't know.
This will be their 5th one-on-one encounter.
It's going to be interesting on Friday night, before 10 p.m.
Before 10 p.m. And the reason why I drew the parallels to Seth Rollins before was, if you guys remember, Brock Lesnar was the one who started the path for Seth Rollins to stop having his lackeys interfere in matches. Because that was the one where the authority said, yeah, nobody can help you out. You have to fight Lesnar on your own.
All right,
just
so
that was you're a good champ.
So that was our recap of SummerSlam, our predictions, with Ismail taking the victory, taking the 24/7 TFSPOD championship. None of us getting the point. But
and like I said, hopefully this time nobody attacks you from behind. Congratulations, Ismail. It was very impressive that you won on your first outing.
So yeah.
Yeah, we know, Lou. We know.
Nah.